What's up, everybody? It's the Beastly Gamer. Thank you for joining me today. We would like to announce this is the inaugural episode of Beauty and the Beast with me and the lovely Kate. And the footage you guys see is Battlefield 4 for the PlayStation 4. I have just started getting into this game. It's been so broken that I have really not even wanted to play it, but I was able to get 2 or 3 decent games in. As you guys can see, I'm not the best. I'm not familiar with these levels. I really haven't played it since I bought it. So I hope you enjoyed the footage. Be sure to comment on it if you feel like there's something you want to tell me about the game. Anyway, I'm joined today by
Kate,
and we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit, kind of give you guys a feel of what life is like here. And I got a few topics we're going to hit on today. You guys probably don't know this about me and Kate, but we have a lot of video games. It's something that we kind of pride ourselves on at this point in time. Some people do baseball cards, some people do postage stamps. We do video games and video game consoles, and we take it to the next level. As you guys have probably seen, we got a lot of video game related paraphernalia in our house and around us. But it's not just the collections and getting physical copies of things. We actually play these games. And I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, or maybe you haven't wondered, if we're real gamers. I know I am. I've been gaming for a really long time. The first console that I ever played was the NES, and I think one of the first games I ever played on that was Castlevania, which seemed extremely hard to me. But that challenge kind of it awakened something in me that it pushed me forward. I wanted to play more games. I wanted to try more stuff. Got into Carnov, got into Mario, and it's been a hell of a ride. Now Kate is real similar. Now Kate's 24 years old, so I'm 9 years older than her, and she, of course, came from a different era in gaming. It's like when she was growing up, it was Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Tell our subscribers a little bit about how you got into video games and what makes you a gamer. And also, I want to hear, and take your time, what makes a girl gamer or a female gamer a real gamer versus the chicks who sit around and poke their titties out and just play one game and think they're a gamer. All right, here you go.
Well, I mean, I've played the Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that, but the first game console I owned was the PlayStation 1 that I actually owned. So, myself, I guess I started with the PlayStation 1 because I actually owned it. But yeah, I consider myself definite gamer. Different from most girl gamers, of course, because most girls that say they play games only do it when guys are around. They only play like a game of Call of Duty, or maybe they shoot something when people are watching them. But for me, I game when no one's around. I game a whole bunch of different games. I don't just play Call of Duty. I don't just play shooter games.
Alright, a question. In the last 2 years that you can recall, and we're not in any rush here. This segment's going to be about 20 minutes long, so you can actually take time to think and reflect. In the last 2 years, 24 months, what are some of the games that you've played and actually played through to completion that you can remember?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, ask me that. 2 years.
I said the ones you can remember.
The Mass Effect trilogy.
What did you think about that?
Well, it was an awesome game until the end. They screwed the ending up terribly. I'd play it again, but just the ending is so stupid.
Yeah, we actually, when it came to Mass Effect, that was when we got our second Xbox 360. And of course we had 2 flat screens, and we decided to play through the entire trilogy side by side as they came out. So I, at the time, had never played Mass Effect, being a PS3 owner, And when I met Kate, she had an Xbox 360. And so we kind of met, and at that time, that was all either one of us had. I had some other game consoles in the past. A lot of stuff came and went over the years, but I had to, as I have now, I had to, kind of regather all my video games and stuff. But at the time we met in 1999, in 2009, I'm sorry, I only had a PlayStation 3, and she had an Xbox 360. And I, of course, started talking shit about the Xbox. I was like, get out of here. You're an Xbox chick. And she, was talking shit to me because she was an Xbox girl. What were you playing? Perfect Dark when I met you?
Perfect Dark? No, I was playing Assassin's Creed.
What was the shooter that you guys played? That was Perfect Dark. Yeah, it was.
It might have been. I can't really remember.
You and your brother were playing Perfect Dark when I met you. And so, to make that long story short, when Mass Effect came out, I had heard about it for a long time, but at the time it was an Xbox 360 exclusive, and so I finally had the opportunity to play it. And of course, I'm not going to miss up this opportunity. So we went and got another Xbox because I got the first one. She wanted to have one for each of us, so we started playing it side by side. We had both flat screens in the living room, recliners. And we just went at it. It took hours upon hours. We probably spent, 70 hours in that game?
Basically, I just remember junk food, video games, and our apartment.
That was our first apartment in Ohio. And we played through the first game, and the second game, and then when the third game came out, we were extremely happy to get it. We got it on release day, and we played through that all the way up to the end. And when the end hit, I felt like I got gut punched by Hellboy or something. It was terrible.
Dexter.
Yeah, it was like Dexter's ending. It all that build up for this, it just didn't seem right. Now you also played. I'm going to try to name off the top of my head some of the other games. Okay, there you go.
I've played, of course, the Uncharted series.
What do you think about that?
I love Uncharted, and I don't care what people say. You may not be a big Uncharted fan, but I am.
I never beat any of them. I have Uncharted, I have them all, but I never beat them. I just never really got excited about it, honestly. That was the first game I bought on the Vita, and how many minutes have I played that?
Maybe an hour.
Maybe an hour out of this last year and a half of owning them.
I beat that game in like 3 days.
Yeah, because you're a maniac.
Because it's good. I played the God of War series.
Now, which God of Wars did you beat?
I beat them all. PSP, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I beat them all.
Yeah, well, you're a maniac.
No, I'm a gamer. It's not a maniac.
That's why
I'm a true gamer.
That's a reason. That's one of the reasons I love you so much. Okay, you beat L.A. Neon.
Yeah, just it was an okay game. The ending again was not my cup of tea. Dragon Age, the first Dragon Age was awesome.
The second one wasn't so much.
Yeah. I started getting into Fallout. I haven't finished it yet.
You gotta beat that.
I know, I haven't finished that yet.
Fallout 3 to me is one of the best games ever made. I didn't spend too much time in New Vegas, but Fallout 3 for me was one of the best games. When you and I first started really getting into the PS3, we spent a hell of a lot of time playing Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, we beat that game.
How many times do you think we beat it?
Like 40. I don't know. We played it so much.
Now, we got a few questions from some of our subscribers, and I'm going to get to those in a second. But I think it's actually questions just from one subscriber, Marco, who leaves comments all the time. And there's a select group of subscribers who stay in touch and leave their thoughts, and I really appreciate them consistently, leaving their thoughts and ideas with the Beastly Gamer. But I know Marco specifically asked you, what is your favorite game of all time?
That's a question I get asked a lot, and it's so hard to answer because there's different genres, there's different types of games, there's different systems that games are on, and exclusives.
If you were
It's
If you were
just,
stranded on a desert island and you only had one game that you could play, what would be this game?
I don't know. Like I don't think I have an all-time favorite game
You gotta choose one.
because I don't have to if I don't want to.
Okay, well she's
I'm
not gonna
awesome,
answer
so
you
I'd take
now.
them all.
Now
I'd find a way.
me, that's not my question. Marco, you asked me this question. What makes me a PlayStation guy versus an Xbox 360 guy? Uh, and for me, it's a multi-tiered answer. Okay, let me take you down memory lane. I think it was '96 when the PlayStation 1 came out. 95, 96, in that area. And when it came out, it was extremely expensive, $350. But I bought it on release day. I was a kid. I made money working for my dad, and I went out and bought it. And this thing blew my mind. It was light years beyond anything I'd ever seen. I still have the original demo disc that came with the PlayStation in mint condition. And when I put it in and I got to see Philosoma and got to see Killik, the DNA Imperative, and ESPN and Tekken, which I had never played, and Jumping Flash, and when I got just to see, it was at the time called Air Combat. These games, it just did something to me. And coming from the era of Super Nintendo, seeing the flop that was a Sega CD, the 32X, and actually, truly, for the first time ever, feeling a next-gen console, it was something special to me. And it was just PlayStation. It was by itself at the time. Sega Saturn came out, and it just wasn't the same. It didn't have the same processing power when it came to the 3D abilities. It had great 2D abilities for all my Astal fans out there, but it was something special for me. There was no Microsoft console at the time. And so when the PlayStation 2 came out, of course I was on board. I was in line at Walmart on Riverdale Road for 8 hours, and I got it. And they only had like 64 of them, but somehow me and all my buddies, we all were some of the first people in line, and we got them. And it was another special moment. And that was before the Xbox came out. Then when the Xbox came out, it was big and ugly, and it had, well, Halo at the time was a great game, but I had never played it. I wasn't an Xbox owner. I didn't find out about Halo until a few years later. But it had, to me, it just didn't have that appeal. And then as time progressed, I got me an Xbox 2 and I played it, and I thought it was great. I hated the controller. I loved the PlayStation controller at the time because the original Xbox controller was big and bulky and stupid. And so it's kind of like going home for me. It's a no-brainer for me to like Sony because they were my system from the time I was a kid. And they haven't changed. They haven't changed the way they treat their customers. They haven't changed their policies. They've changed a few things. They've tweaked some, but overall, I feel like with the PS4, I feel like it's that release again. They don't have the great release games, but they never do. I think the PS2 had probably the best release of any of the Sony consoles. You know, they had Tekken 2. I mean, they had a great release. PS4, not so much, but I still feel that nostalgia. I still feel that umph. And I've never gotten that out of the Xbox 360. I've never gotten that out of the Xbox. That feeling of this is something I have to have. Now, the Xbox 360, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not a fantastic console, especially when they came out with a new controller. The system is easy to develop for. The PS3 had a cell processor, which was very difficult for developers to make their games on. But I still never felt that it was a console that I absolutely had to have. And that's kind of what makes me a PlayStation guy over an Xbox guy. And this DRM stuff, and Microsoft just came out recently and stated that they tried to get away with releasing the Xbox One without a disk drive. Do you know what that means? It means that they wanted to release it and have it download only, digital only. And I quote, I forget exactly who said it. Was it Major Nelson? It might have been Major Nelson, but I know it was one of the top tier Xbox gurus who said we wanted to see if we could get away with it, releasing it without a disk drive. And that kind of stuff just makes me kind of look at Microsoft in a light that I don't see Sony in at the time. And that's my answer to that question, Marco. For all you guys listening to this the first episode of Beauty and the Beast, send all your comments and questions to therealbeastlygamer@gmail.com. Go ahead and send them there. We will respond to them on the next episode. So, girl gamer, female gamer, what makes you love this genre so much? I mean, when I first met you, you liked playing video games, obviously, but you had a handful, and you weren't the way you are now. You've kind of turned into, like, you're sitting here now. You got your Vita in your lap. You were just playing Little Big Planet. You just beat a boss right before we started this. So she stopped playing her game to do this. What turned you into this? Did I have anything to do with it?
A little bit, because you also like games. The people I was around when I was a kid, the only person that liked games like me was my brother. So, coming into this relationship and you liking games just as much, if not more, as me, definitely helped me like them a lot more. But also the means, like, when you met me, I was out of college, in debt, working a crappy factory job, trying to pay bills. I didn't have a lot of money for video games, so having this new life with our jobs and good income has allowed me to
splurge.
Yeah, get all the games I want.
So you're like reliving your childhood again as an adult with children?
Yeah, I'm redoing my childhood because I never really got many games. My parents wouldn't buy them. They said they're too expensive. So now I'm buying them all for myself.
That's what's up. That's how you're supposed to do it. So for all the young teen listeners who are still playing their PlayStation 2s, your time's coming. Go to school, get educated, get you a decent job, work hard, and you'll be able to have all the video games you want, because that's what this whole thing is about. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of goddamn video games. And happiness, too, if you get lucky. I think I got real lucky meeting this lady here, because we're very compatible. When you guys see us on camera, you probably wonder, what the hell, how did this even happen? Kate's extremely, extremely shy, guys. I mean, if she was in a room full of people, she would be the one to not speak at all and probably try to get out of there. And I talk all day long. I love talking. I love expressing myself. And so we're polar opposites, but somehow we ended up getting together, and it worked out perfectly. Now let me ask you a question. You haven't been playing the 3DS too much lately, but how would you at this point rate that 3DS experience? Like, I know you just beat. What did you just beat on 3DS?
Kingdom Hearts. I think that was the last game I beat.
Now, with these new games coming out, you just did, and if you guys haven't seen her review, she just reviewed Tearaway. Make sure you check out that review on the channel. With these new games coming out, Tearaway being probably the #1 game, and you're playing Little Big Planet now, do you think that the PS Vita has a fighting chance to, maybe win more consumers or get the attention of portable gamers?
Yeah, if they release games that are for the system, like Tearaway, it utilizes the entire system, and you don't get bored doing these motions over and over again. So I'd like to see more games like Uncharted use these abilities as well, but come out with a nice shooting game, not like Call of Duty. Terrible game on the Vita.
Yeah.
Killzone was nice though.
Killzone's a great game.
Yeah.
I beat the hell out of that game. She beat it, and the multiplayer is pretty good too. Now we have 4 Vitas in the house. She and I have them, and the 2 boys have them. And when Nova gets old enough, she's going to get them. And for guys who don't know who Nova is, check out Nova's review, her hot pepper review of Resident Evil Resolations on the Nintendo 3DS. Oh my goodness. I love this channel, guys. I can't say it enough how much I really love doing this. I'm very blessed to have a beautiful wife who loves it as much as me. And we thank everybody, all you guys, for even tuning in to hear our thoughts. We will talk to you guys about anything you want to ask. As long as it's tasteful, send your questions and comments. Either write them down in the comment section below, or send me an email. If you want it to be personal and discreet, all you gotta do is send it to therealbeastlygamer@gmail.com, and I will talk about it on the channel on the next episode. I am the Beastly Gamer. What's your name again?
Kate.
Kate. It's crazy. Her name rhymes with hate, but it's so much love here. Now we're going to do some Let's Plays of some of the retro games we got here too. I'm going to do some Let's Plays of my Nintendo 64. I'm waiting on my composite of my GameCube, my PlayStation 2. I got an arcade cabinet too that I'm going to do some Let's Plays on. I actually did some footage of Alien vs Predator that I'm going to upload for you guys. If there's any games that you guys want to see in my future, not comments, but my future videos, my news videos, let me know in the comment section. I'll upload that for you guys. I'm the Beastly Gamer. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. We just kind of threw it together. We sat down, said what's on our mind. You guys be good, and we'll see you next time.